Hi, in this demo, learn how you can quickly classify any type of text into as many categories as you need. Whether you're dealing with long documents, collections of documents, portions of documents, or emails, classification models can help you organize any and all of this information. Classification models are perfect for use cases where people are spending time on identifying the intent or content of text, such as triaging emails, routing support requests, or searching through long documents for specific sections. As with all our self-service AI, classification models can be built by almost anyone with our point and click interface. So let me show you an example. You will need some training data. That means samples of the type of text you're working with, labeled with the categories you're looking for. In this case, I'm thinking of a contact center that's receiving thousands of emails a day with a dedicated team triaging these emails and routing them to the intended department. The goal would be to automatically route these emails based on the email intent. So here I have some emails on the left-hand side that are labeled in the second column, and it's the top 3 categories that this contact center sees most often. So address change, shipping, and scheduling. So email text and labels here. Now I'm going to go ahead and configure a classification model in 3 steps using this data. So I head on over into our AI models section. I choose create classification, and step 1 is to choose a name. Step 2 is to choose the data set. So I'm choosing the data I just showed you, email intent with the categories. The output should be categories. And the third step is to choose a model size. Now, if you're working with a high volume of data or very complex data, you might choose medium or large. For our purposes, we're just going to choose small. We click train here, and I have configured a classification model. It is training. Depending on your resources, it may take a few minutes to do that. So I will go ahead and open a model that I already created and is already trained. And I can choose to show the performance here, and you can see that there are 2 metrics, precision and recall, for every single one of the categories that I was looking for. Now let's go ahead and productionalize this model. So we head on over into Flow Studio. I have an empty flow here that I am going to work with. And as my input data, I'm going to be using email text, but without categories, without labels, because I want the model that I just created to add the categories and to label all of these emails. So I'm just using some email text here as my input. I can go ahead and just drop that into my canvas, give it a second to load. All right. And so here I have my input, the email text, and now I want to add my classification model. So I just drop that onto the canvas and go ahead and connect these 2 with cable here. All right, and I'll go ahead and show you using the preview function. So here's our email text, and then we go ahead and we can look at what's happening when the model gets a hold of that. It should have created some new labels. Sure enough, it did. And it's also outputting the confidence in its prediction about what kind of email it is. So what do you want to do from here? One of the first things you might choose to do is add some filters based on those confidence levels that we just saw. So I'm going to add two different functions here, an is greater and is less than or equal, and connect these two together. So what I'm saying here is that when the confidence levels are higher than 50%, I want to process those emails in this branch. And on the other side, if I'm dealing with data where the confidence level is 50% or less, then I want those emails to be routed and processed in this branch. So this is our higher confidence branch, and this is our lower confidence branch. You can just use some plain language there to label those. And therefore, emails that go into the higher confidence branch, I can feel confident processing those and actually routing those to their appropriate departments. Emails that end up in the lower confidence branch, perhaps I send to a human for review. Maybe they're not part of those top 3 categories that are most likely seen, and they need a more personal response from an employee at the contact center. So there you have it. I've built a classification model in a few minutes, and I've leveraged it in a flow to help save time for this contact center. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Thank you so much.